might recall a couple of weeks back, we got a comment from Josh Bernstein about how like he appreciates what we do, and he's like, it's always good to have counter opinions on stuff, and that led to the whole internal dialogue I've had in my own brain where I'm like, maybe this might be the kind of guy we have on the show. Maybe we'll talk about this guy. Maybe we'll have him on and to have him defend his positions. Not after hearing this video that I'm about to give you guys right now, because my God, like there is no talking to this kind of person. So let me see what we got here. Hang on.
This is more breaking news about this person with a very strange name, I have to say. And you know what?
He's talking about Reality Lee Winter, or Winter, not Winter. The lady that leaked the NSA document.
Oh yeah.
And they caught her through printer steganography, which is fucking. You research that, and it's like, wow. There's like no way of being a whistleblower without being fucking caught in this country.
Damn.
So anyway, let's hear what he has to say.
She needs to be dealt with. I mean, when the Rosenbergs were executed way back when for doing espionage and treason and spying.
Okay, well, no. First, two totally different things.
I'm unfamiliar.
The Rosenbergs.
Yeah.
They were actual communist Russian spies. So they were actually
Julius and Ethel
secrets.
Rosenberg.
Yeah.
They were both executed June 19th, 1953 in Ossining, New York. Conspiracy to commit espionage, criminal penalty, death, executed. They were like, we're talking, this was like early 50s.
Okay, we don't put people to death for that anymore. We just don't. Like, this isn't like a political statement. This is just, we don't.
Right. So they weren't like
or
leaking,
we don't publish.
Right. So they weren't like leaking things to the press. They were
selling state secrets to the enemy,
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So super shitty. Got it.
Yeah, height of the Cold War, they were agents for the Russian government, for the Soviets.
Okay, that's actual treason because they were a declared enemy. But even now, like, no, seriously, we don't put people to death for treason anymore.
Right.
Actually, Abraham Lincoln didn't put anyone in this who fought for the South. Yes, a lot of people who fought for the South died, but no one was actually executed for treason in the Civil War, guys. Treason's actually pretty common in our history, and it's very, very rare we put anyone to death for it. Wow. Okay. So comparing them to a very rare scenario, intensely rare. Because, like, there's a ton of spies. There's a ton of spies.
Here's the
let's
thing.
be clear.
The charges that they were brought up on is that they were supposedly passing information related to like Fat Man and Little Boy, So we're talking nuclear secrets being passed to the USSR, who turned out to be our biggest fucking rival when it comes to having nuclear warehousing, all these fucking weapons that we have out there. So I could see how something like that may be I'm not going to say punishable by death kind of thing, but it's like, that's very fucking bad what you did. Right. This lady just let us know that there was some shady shit going on when it comes to Russia and America, So hang on, let him finish. He's only got about 30 seconds left.
That President Trump needs to recommend that this person is executed. That's right, I said that. This is treasonous. This is against the United States' best interest. It is a national security threat, and this person must be dealt with and made an example of. And I would recommend that she be executed for what she has done.
God, so much go fuck yourself.
Not even close. What was she? So she was arrested. What was she charged with?
Let me see if I can bring it up real quick. Pander.
I don't think it was. I don't think it was espionage. No, she wasn't charged with treason.
Okay, then it's not a death penalty.
No.
First of all, I oppose the death penalty 100% of the time. There are very few things that I take a firm stance on. Like, there is no exception. but the death penalty is the one. The death penalty, I'm like, there is no exception.
She was a short timer in the Air Force. She retired at E4. That's most people after 6
that's
years.
Very, very, that's pretty common, very low level.
But she was working for the NSA, and she passed on intelligence about Russian interference in the 2016 elections to the news website The Intercept.
Okay, not treason.
And so the report suggested that Russian hackers attacked a U.S. voting software supplier. So
none of that is death penalty worthy.
No,
not even close.
Yeah,
not even within the precedence of the law. Not even what we've put people to death for. That doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Right. I think she was charged under the Espionage Act or something.
Let's see. On June, she was arrested June 3rd. It doesn't say exactly what it was. However, she pleaded not guilty to willful retention and transmission of national defense information and was denied bail. Prosecutors alleged she may have been involved in other leaks of classified information. She might try to flee the country if released. Anyway, yeah, so that is not even the same goddamn thing.
No.
Mr. Josh Bernstein.
At the time that those people were tried and convicted and executed, killed, murdered. I'm going to go with murder.
Yeah, state-sanctioned murder.
Because, it's still murder. Those time that those people were murdered, they were still transmitting information to an American enemy. The media is not a declared enemy of the United States. I don't know if you guys know this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Weird.
Yet.
Oh, God. I will fight for the fuck out of the media. I don't care how sensational. I will fight for the rights of TMZ.
Like, look, I hate me some Alex Jones. I hate fucking Alex Jones.
I hate it. Oh, I hate it.
But he's got every right to say the horrible shit that he does.
Right. It's horrid, disgusting.
And just like this Josh Bernstein guy, I hate the fact that he's saying this kind of stuff.
But he's arguing against his own self-interest at this point.
Like, yeah, he's flat wrong.
You're like, Josh, you realize that if you happen to be on the opposite end of the spectrum here and you were saying this kind of stuff that's against what the state wanted, what's to stop them from dragging you out and executing you?
That's because they're not actually thinking about it. They're authoritarian. This is the Christian right thinking, and this is authoritarian.
Yeah.
Oh, it's what I've been posting on Twitter under the Utah Outcasts banner for the longest time. For the GOP, it's okay if we do it.
Yeah, it's authoritarianism. It's authoritarianism. I've been saying this forever. This podcast has been talking about fascism coming from the right forever.
Yeah.
And not in a hyperbolic, fascism. No, like literally the rise of fascism.
It's literal now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's literal. This is literally what the rise of fascism looks like, guys. We have historical precedents. Good news. We have an educated populace. And most of them oppose these concepts inherently now because of education.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them. But you got to get up.
Yeah.
You have to act.
So let's just say let's put a final point on this is that Josh Bernstein, you're not invited on our show.
No. You're
as much as I would probably enjoy having a conversation with someone as deluded as you are. I'm not going to use my platform. I'm not going to let you on the platform to do it.
I would not enjoy it.
And here's
too much. He's just too much of an idiot.
No, and here's the thing. He has a much grander audience than we have. He would only be doing us a favor by having us on.
I don't give a shit.
I'm not going to take that shortcut. I am not going to sell myself out for this kind of shit. You've got folks like Michael Shermer and all these other folks that are just, Lacey fucking Green, someone I used to enjoy on YouTube where she was, very feminist and everything, selling themselves out for fucking alt-right money. And it's just like, no, I can't fucking do it. Maybe if this was my only job, I might try to find inroads to... No, you don't even fuck that because I can't compromise myself. I just can't do it. There's easy ways. Ideals. There's easy ways for us to make so much fucking money doing this.
Yeah.
But we're not going
ideals. There are ideals that says that certain ideas are not worth entertaining. And that is true, you guys. Mm-hmm. We have come to a point where we say... these ideas are no longer acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do that. That is okay. History has demonstrated it. If you don't want us to address it, Do your fucking research, okay? History has demonstrated it. We are going to exist on the platform of forward thinking. That is what the show is about. Forward thinking. And we are going to constantly challenge ourselves on the forward thinking ideas. Now, I am not going to say that there are no conservative people with forward thinking ideas. I actually think there are. I think there are a lot of conservative people out there who are trying to hold on to old ideals for the right reasons, because there are some that have been proven to work. But the modern conservative movement as a whole has rejected these, and they are forwarding to authoritarianism and fascism. Now, that's not to speak to the individual, but this show is not going to entertain the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, and I would be appalled. I would be appalled.
I had
to have something like.
I had a lengthy discussion with aunts and uncles when I guess this is a good time as I need to bring it up. I had a relative that died, and going down to the deep fucking south to go visit. And I hate to put this part on the fucking Josh Bernstein video, but anyway, this is where it's gonna fit. I had a lengthy discussion over scotch and cigars with my uncle, who is a guy that lives in the fucking San Francisco Bay, but he's like conservative.
How does that? Never mind. I don't know.
Okay, we're talking like West Point graduate, 20 years in the service as a fucking officer in the army, kind of thing. So he's dyed in the wool conservative, and I said to him, I'm like, look, he's like, well, how did you end up becoming this atheist liberal guy living in Utah? He's like, was it just like a counterculture kind of thing? And I'm like, no, that's too simplistic. That's way too simplistic.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to him, and what's funny to me is that I stated my case very well. Doing this show, fuck you learn how to talk. You learn how to state your opinion very verbosely. You know how to have people enwrapped in what you're trying to say to them. And I said to him, I'm like, look, man, I probably wouldn't be as like liberal. I probably wouldn't. I would still consider myself a conservative with a lot of things. I'm not saying that like I want like smaller government, get the fuck out of my, it's like, but the party that considers themselves conservative nowadays are not. They are not conservative in the slightest. And I said, if these people were to actually, live by their mandate that they want to live by, and they were actually not the party of Christ, if they didn't have this religious right glom onto them, I might consider being a Republican, because if they were to the root of what the Republican Party originally was, that's a good fucking political party to believe in, but it's not.
If we're going to be honest right now, if we're talking individual freedoms, if we're talking conservative small government, every fucking conservative would be pro-choice.
Yeah. Everyone would be pro-choice. They'd be just fine with people fucking whoever they wanted to fuck. Yep. There would be legal marijuana. There wouldn't be any weird fucking taxations on shit that does not need to be overly taxed.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
There would be so many things. Like, there's a lot of people that consider themselves libertarian nowadays. And it's like, you don't know the fucking definition of that term.
No.
You are a conservative in like the original conservative sense. That's what you are. You're not... At this point,
the Democrats are the ones that are championing freedom.
Yeah.
They are. Mm-hmm. If we're talking individual freedoms, if we're talking maximizing freedom, it is the Democrats.
They're the ones to get behind.
They are the centrists maximizing freedom at this point. And you don't have to agree with all of it. You don't have to agree with all of it. But the party as a whole is maximizing freedom. And that's the fucking...
Exactly. So it was just really interesting to have this lengthy discussion with somebody that, especially with my old man, because I think I floored him a couple of times. My old man doesn't listen to this stuff. He doesn't tune into what X is doing, and he doesn't care much about the whole atheist discussion, which was kind of interesting to have these discussions with family members, because it's like they had no idea I knew how to defend myself so fucking well.
Yeah, my dad's kind of the same way. He's
you get kind of used to it.
I love the idea of God, and then he turns to me, he's like, what about morality? I'm like, oh, you want to have a discussion on morality? Let's get into it. And he's like, I hadn't even thought of that.
Like, let's pull the sleeves up. Like, you are in my wheelhouse now. And so that's how I felt having these discussions with my nearly 60-year-old uncle and my over 60-year-old dad is like, oh, you guys want to be in my fucking courtyard? Okay, let's do this shit. You know, and I'm not kidding you guys. Like, I was down there for fucking dour reasons. I was there for like sad reasons. I don't know if it was the single malt scotch that we had going through our system, or if it was the fact that I inhaled cigar smoke that you really shouldn't be doing that, but
it's intense. Cigar
holy
smoke
shit, guys.
That'll light you up.
Being drunk and like nicotine high at the same time, it was amazing, but I had these amazing discussions with these folks, and I think they probably walked away and went, I kind of agree. Oh shit, he did a good job of defending himself. It's like I have no way to attack that. So
let's talk about freedom. Let's talk
about freedoms, and let's also talk about the fact that I need proof for a lot of the stuff that you guys state. I said, and this is one of the discussions I had, and fuck, I'm going to title this something other than fucking Josh. Not Josh, what's the hell his name? Yeah, Josh Bernstein. I'm going to have to call it something else. But the fact that when it came to religion and everything, I said, look, man, if something happened tomorrow, Jesus came down to the planet and said, I am the Lord who calls himself I, and, he came down to me and said specifically something only I would fucking know, kind of thing, and proved himself to me and everybody else on the planet. I said, I would have no other recourse except for calling myself a Christian at that point, or calling myself
a Christian with Christians.
I'm just saying, just for shorthand, we'll call it that, because I would have no reason to not believe anymore. I would have my evidence that would be required of this kind of thing to happen. And I said, if that was to happen, that's just me being intellectually honest. If something like this was to happen, I would have to say, okay, this fucking happened, and I have no way to doubt this anymore. And I'm not talking about, me, like something specifically happening to me. I'm talking about like independently verifiable evidence of shit that really fucking happened, kind of thing. If that kind of stuff happened, I'd be like, fuck, I guess I'm a Christian now.
If it was the level of the trade towers coming down, all of us would have to accept that it happened, right? Yes.
That doesn't mean I'm
here accept that the trade towers came down. We would have to accept it. Now, if that Jesus approached any one of us, we'd say, okay, we have some questions.
Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing that I brought up with this whole discussion is that I said, okay, if that kind of thing was to happen, if the evidence was to present itself, and I was to actually have this conversation with them, I said, that doesn't mean, like, I would have to consider myself a Christian and know that this is how things really were. I said, that doesn't mean I have to fall at the feet of your God. That doesn't mean I have to worship. That doesn't mean I have to, think that everything is good, grand, and wonderful with everything that's going on there, because
absolutely
I've done some reprehensible bullshit. And so it was a very fucking cathartic trip. Let's just put it that way. So
that God has some shit to fucking answer for.
He's has some answers.
And
we need some answers. He's got some splaining to do.
To make it ultimately lighthearted before we move on to our next fun with real audio clip that we have here, is that, okay, look, man, you don't go, and I'm saying man, not as a pejorative or anything. I'm saying, look, guys, look,
women.
Hey, y'all,
look, man.
Hang on.
I do. Yeah, that's it.
I'm just gonna own my roots here. Hey, y'all, when you go to a whiskey bar, specifically that is what like 90% of their menu is whiskey. Single malt, bourbons, they had High West on the menu, and I shared that with them. Oh
shit, yeah.
Because they have a double rye that's so goddamn good. So anyway, sorry. When we were having libations there, and I was going back and forth with my uncle, man, I'm not some sort of high class floozy motherfucker kind of thing out there, but good whiskey is good whiskey. Don't. And my dad did this, and it's so fucking embarrassing. If he ever listened to this show, he'd be so fucking mad that I shared this, but he had a gastric bypass, so he can't really drink that much. So he has to drink just a little bit. And when we were there at this whiskey bar, and this is a high class, like in a historic hotel kind of whiskey bar kind of thing. And he's like, I'm ordering like Glenguli, and like my uncle's ordering Hibiki, just to try some different things out on the menu. We're talking like $17-18 for a dram of this kind of stuff. We're talking. We ordered the special smelling cups. Not just like highball cups with fucking liquor in it. We're talking like actual. You're meant to savor every bit of this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
My old man says, "Do you have Fireball?"
Oh no!
We're like, oh, and both me and my uncle were just looking at him like, "You're kidding, right? What are you, some fucking like 21-year-old like college student looking to get fucking wasted? Is that what you're here for? Because that's not what we're here for."
I mean, not to shit on Fireball, but really, there's so much better.
No, I'm sorry. Fireball is travesty. Porter's Fire is way better. It's not nearly
really
no,
is.
It is.
But
it is.
But
Fireball is so sugar. It's so sugary sweet.
Yeah,
it
is.
Here's the thing.
It is.
When I'm drinking a glass of like 20-year Pappy Van Winkle, and putting spring water in it, like through a dropper that they brought to me, where they actually
right. Yeah. No, okay. That's awesome.
Where they did like the twig water kind of thing, where they soak the water with the twig in it. Whiskey drinkers are a different fucking breed of people, and I have a serious appreciation of it. You don't ask for the sugariest, fucking trashiest drink that you could possibly order that dares call itself whiskey.
Just dares. Ugh, Fireball's travesty.
Delicious, peaty, smoky, campfirey whiskey. Oh,
God.
so good.
I don't love the campfire.
I wish you guys would have been there because you would have just lapped it
We
up.
had a
It was
blast.
so goddamn good.
We had so much fun. That would have been a blast. That would have been so much fun.
We need to go to more whiskey bars. That's all I'm saying. Is that there's got to be some cool places around here we could check out. Anyway, that's it for Josh Bernstein.